What's going on, guys? Mike here from Project Rise. Today we're talking about the bar muscle up, and in particular a couple of things you might want to consider before we actually get the movement or along our journey in chasing it. So there's this thing in the calisthenics community with this magical 10 reps that we have to hit for our pull-ups, and although 10 pull-ups will really help you in this journey, there's a couple of things that we can also talk about and also chase to help us get the full movement. Let's go. All right, guys, before we go into a couple of the considerations, let's actually discuss what the bar muscle up is. So first off, you're going to be starting in a dead hang. You're going to pull all the way to the top as high as you can to the bar explosively, ideally getting it below your chest, and then you're leaning over the bar, pressing through the top in a straight bar dip motion, and then coming all the way back down. So chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already seen what a muscle up looks like, or you're inspired to try and chase it. All right, now the muscle up is a hallmark movement in calisthenics for a couple of different reasons. I remember when I first started my journey into calisthenics, it was the movement that I saw and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I literally saw someone doing a pull-up and then going on top of the bar, and I could do many pull-ups at the time, and I was like, I want to get that thing because it's really hard. I tried it, absolutely could not do it. There's a lot of technical aspects to it, and since that moment, when I saw that person do their first muscle up, and that inspired me to ask the question, what even are you doing? I've helped a lot of different students get their muscle up, males, females, people who've never touched the bar before, and for me, that's one of the most rewarding things about calisthenics. That first muscle up that you get is so beautiful, and it's so possible for anybody in this sport. In today's video, we're going to be going over 4 elements. So element 1 is going to be the high pull-up. Element number 2 is going to be what type of pull we should actually be training if we're trying to acquire the bar muscle up. Element number 3 is going to be 2 movements that I highly suggest you acquire along the journey so that you can practice your muscle up a little bit more efficiently and so that you can help some of the negative movements. And then element number 4 is going to be setup. So setup matters for trajectory and getting ourselves around the bar in a technical manner.
Here's a demo of what I would consider a pretty strict muscle up. Now, when you're first acquiring the muscle up, do not worry about having it be this strict. In fact, as the years go on or your training sessions go on or you improve as an athlete, these will just look better over time. First element we're discussing today is the high pull. Absolutely necessary, possibly the most important element of your muscle up is training your explosive high pull up. The more you can do of these, A, the more muscle ups you can do, and B, the more seamless they'll be. You want to aim for anything south of your chin, so below your chin, but ideally, like you just see in this video here, to the hip level area. That would be perfect. To practice this movement, make sure that you're doing it a few times a week. Anytime you touch a bar, in my opinion, you should be doing 3 to 5 high explosive pulls in order to make this move better if you want your muscle up. All right, guys, next up we have to discuss what type of pull you need to practice. Now, this might look exactly like the high pull-up, and it is actually. I'm trying to do explosive high pulls here, but I want you to note the trajectory of my elbows. So for the vast majority of this movement, my elbows stay in front of me, and my scapula or my shoulder blades are slightly more protracted than they would be in a regular pull-up. And what I mean by that, you can see from this one here, I go away from the bar, and then I pull my body towards the bar. Versus in the video you're about to see right here, this one here, I'm retracting my shoulder blades and really trying to keep my chest close to the bar. Now, if I'm trying to achieve the muscle up, I don't want to have this trajectory. I actually need to come away from the bar and get my chest over it. So when I'm practicing my pull-ups, although this movement here is beautiful for building your back, you don't want to do these pull-ups to practice your muscle up. Here's a couple of movements I highly recommend achieving before you start your muscle up journey. So the first is the pullover. So that's getting on top of the bar without the use of a muscle up. The reason why you want this is access. So you may not always have access to a box or a low bar to train on. So having a pullover will allow you to practice the negative muscle up motion coming from the top down no matter where you are. Second exercise is going to be high volume straight bar dips. Now you've probably heard that straight bar dips are a prerequisite for muscle ups. Absolutely agreed. However, high volume, in my opinion, is super important so that you can continue practicing muscle ups. If you can only do 1 or 2 high bar dips, then it's going to be very hard to replicate that movement either with bands or have the endurance to withstand many sets of muscle up training to achieve more muscle ups consecutively once you get your first one. As you can see here, I did 1 muscle up and now I'm supplementing it with straight bar dips. That will help me get more volume overall. The final crucial element we have to discuss is setup. Often overlooked, setup makes a huge difference. In this clip here, I started directly under the bar, which means my pull had to be vertical, which means my muscle up has to be vertical and essentially perfect. Versus what I'm about to do here, which is a little bit of a run so my feet can go forward, my knees can kip to my chest, and I'm going in more of an arc shape or a parabola shape to get up. Here's a demonstration of the vertical pull again. If I'm not familiar with the muscle up, my chest just touches the bar, and oftentimes I see athletes get discouraged and not continue with the muscle up because they can never get that transition, which is often just a setup issue. Speaking about setup, another way to assist your muscle up journey is to use a low bar with a floor setup. This will allow you to experience an assisted jumping pull like I'm doing here, or an assisted jumping muscle up, which is one of my favorite movements. This allows you to experience the transition phase of the muscle up, bulletproof your wrists, and accumulate a little bit more volume in a very specific movement pattern for your muscle up. Final clip here today, guys, is some more muscle ups after a bit of fatigue. You can see my knees are now bending a touch. There's a lot of variety with this. Muscle ups are not easy. Good luck. You guys got this. Let's go.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching today. Remember, there's many different ways to achieve the bar muscle up. There's so many little tips and tricks that can help different people. Everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. I hope you picked up some knowledge today. If you like this content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe on the video, and we'll see you next time. Let's go.